We're back now on GMA with New York Times best-selling author Elisabeth Hasselbeck. She has a new children's book out. It's called God's Masterpiece, an adventure in discovering your worth. Good morning, my friend.
Good morning. Thank you so much for welcoming me here. We're used to sharing a sideline, and now we get to share a studio. This is so fun.
Elisabeth is referring to the fact that our girls used to be friends way back when. They played lacrosse together in Connecticut. We were sad when you moved down to Nashville. And then lo and behold, there's the picture. They both ended up at the same university on the same team.
Crazy.
Standing next to each other in the team picture. There they are.
Wait, that
they
is
wear
great.
number 7 and number 8.
I mean, who knew? God's got the best plans.
Yep.
He has these girls together. Meanwhile, they do.
Oh, that's them beating each other up at practice. They really do love each other, though.
They've traded some arm bruises against each other, and there's nothing better than a great teammate.
That's right.
That team is just amazing, and the team of moms too. I just think we're so blessed to have each other because these girls work so hard and work together. It's just great to see them as masterpieces in motion, bruises and all, and checking with sticks. So,
and I like that. I like what you did just there.
You know,
but I do want to say I'm so grateful to them because they brought us back together. You know, we've been friends for a long time, and here we are again, and it feels so nice to have that camaraderie on the sideline. We've got such a great big girl group.
We do.
That
we'll say go doors to that.
Yes.
But I will say too, I'm thoroughly inspired by you because your daughter's gone ahead of mine, and she's amazingly strong, confident, beautiful, and it's nice to have, as a mom, a girl who's one step ahead that she can look to. So thank you for raising a great, strong one.
Thank you.
Thank you.
I don't know if you know that your daughter borrowed my daughter's dress for a formal. So I mean, it's really, it goes deep. But it all comes back to kindness and raising great kids. And you've done such a great job, and you take it so seriously. You've written a couple of books. This one is beautiful.
Thank you.
It's called God's Masterpiece, and it's two things. It's a sneaky cultural lesson for little kids in beautiful artwork, but the message behind it all is even more important, and that is that beyond Seurat and Georgia O'Keeffe and Van Gogh, the masterpiece is really you, yourself, and God makes each of us our own masterpiece no matter what we look like. And what a great lesson that is, and how important that is to you and your family.
Oh, you're so kind to say that. It is, you know, I thought, what would it look like to have a book where these kids, I studied art in college, my dad let me paint on the walls, what would it look like to have an opportunity to know 11 great works of art by the end of the book, and then get to the end with this mirror and see, you are God's masterpiece too. I think it's a message that not only in our own worth, when our kids are under a lot of pressure, you know, tons of comparison, I do think identity is under threat, you know, and who they are, and we don't get to say who we are. We have a God who determines that, and by the way, we're all still works in progress, so I think if we can see each other as his amazing, unique masterpieces, differently, wildly, beautifully made, his workmanship, then we treat each other that way too. So not just, oh, I'm a masterpiece, but guess what? You're a masterpiece too. And you're a masterpiece out there. And we get to look at each other and treat each other as valuable, high worth creations. And I just think it's, if we can get that message in these little hearts and parents' hearts and grandparents' hearts soon, I thought, wow, before Easter, stuff your baskets with this this word for them.
It's really beautiful. It's a fun. I couldn't be happier for you, and so grateful for the messaging. Not only to be nice to others, but also be nice to yourself. To our little girls, you know, who look different, but each is beautiful in their own individual way. It's such a great message, and you put your money where your mouth is, because not only is it important to talk about kindness, but you do it yourself in the work. Since you've moved down to Nashville, I know that you and your husband Tim have decided to take on even more family, if you will. Will you share with us what you're doing with interim foster care? Because I didn't even know that you could do this.
Yeah, I know, and it's because we've had frequency. This is interim foster care is basically, think of it as short-term fostering. It's not something I ever thought I'd do, not something I ever knew there was a need for. It's basically gap standing between birth and either placement of a baby or birth and reunification of a baby with birth mom. You just stand in the gap and you welcome a baby into your home. And I didn't know it was possible till I saw an amazing friend of mine doing it so naturally and wonderfully. And she showed me the ropes, and I asked him if we should be doing this, and God put it on our hearts. And it's been 4 years of just welcoming little ones in who really do more for our hearts than we ever do for theirs. But I didn't know that there was a way to step in and give a break to a mom who is going through a crisis period, or a young woman, and that we can all kind of in different ways participate in this, child welfare crisis. There are 378,000 kids in the foster care system, and this sort of gap stands keeps them out of an overcrowded system if possible.
Yes.
And then you can be a foster parent, you can do interim care, which is short term, you can wrap around a family that is. Look up locally interim care for infants in your local.
I know. Thank you for educating me on it. I did not know, and honestly, I know that the experience has changed your lives, and that your kids have welcomed it in. So thank you for all you do, and for making the trip from Nashville back to New York.
Oh my
it's so
gosh,
great seeing
I just
you.
love you, girl. I'll see you on the sideline.
I'll see you on the sideline this week.
Go Doors.
Everybody, God's Masterpiece. It really is one. It's a beautiful book, an adventure in discovering your worth, and it's available right now.